I'm Diana Felzone, and this is In the Zone. Jane Seymour is a Hollywood icon who has no trouble poking a little fun at herself. The actress just did a hilarious Funny or Die skit, Dr. Quinn, Morphine Woman, that we want to know more about. Welcome, Jane.
Thank you. It was funny, wasn't it?
I was laughing out loud. I sent it to friends. Everyone is obnoxiously laughing. I don't think anyone thought that Dr. Quinn would be, I don't want to give too much away, would be prescribing morphine to the town.
Well, actually, it was my idea. Funny or Die came to me and wanted to do a skit, and they had all these other great ideas. But I said, I've got this idea I've always thought about, and they loved it, so they went with it. My concept was that every time I filmed Dr. Quinn, and I was in my office, the only medicine available at that time would be cocaine, morphine, a leather strap, a bottle of whiskey, and if cloud dancing came by, some willow bark tea. So, I thought, I wonder what would happen if they accidentally she turned them into addicts and alcoholics.
Did you think of mashing it up with Breaking Bad?
Yes, of course I did. Who doesn't love Breaking Bad, And that's sort of like my secret pleasure. I mean, my kids were watching it. I didn't know what they were watching, and then I thought, why would I want to watch something about, meth? I mean, I don't know anything about this world. Why do I want to know about this world? But it was like all night. I'm watching 3 or 4 at a time, and I just thought, gosh, wouldn't it be funny to take Dr. Quinn and tied him with Breaking Bad. And Aaron Paul's a friend. I tried to get him in, but we got Skinny Pete instead.
No, that was awesome. And then when you put back the costumes from Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman, and you were reunited with your cast, what was it?
It was magic. It was absolute magic. We should have filmed that. I think we did. My son filmed some of it. We all came back together again, and we were all like, now, no trailers. We're all changing in, what was the post office. And people have brought their own costumes. We still had our own costumes. Yeah, how crazy is that? We hadn't seen each other, most of us, for 16 years.
That's amazing.
And everyone came, and everyone tried, did their own makeup and hair, and Janelle brought all this hair pieces and stuff, and everyone was looking good. I said, I'm sorry, guys. I said, you all have to look like addicts. So then they gamely came and put sort of sad, tired-looking makeup on, but we laughed and we laughed and we just had the best time. We were on our set in our costumes, and then I had a little party for them afterwards at my house. So it was an amazing reunion. Amazing.
Are you going to do more Funny or Die skits? Because
I'd like to.
You hit over 100,000 views, correct? So now
120,000 now.
Immortal.
We're immortal, which I feel that after you go past immortal, what comes? I thought born again.
Born again. Exactly.
Or the phoenix from the ashes or something. And I was joking about that to Joe Lando, and he's already texted me this morning a really great idea. So, I'll probably call them up and say, hey, if you ever want to do this again, the team's ready.
And that chemistry that the two of you have on screen, hot.
Hot.
Really?
I know.
Really?
It really is. His wife sends him over to me every once in a while, just, we get along really well. And we dated before I was married. When we did the pilot, we dated.
I did not know that.
Yes, we did. And then we broke up when they picked up the series. So, note to self, never date somebody and break up before you do 7 years of working at being in love.
Is that... Yeah, that gets a little...
That's why it was so...
Right. Now it's almost like
because we knew what it was like to be in love. But, we weren't actually talking to one another at the time, so...
Right. Maybe another place, another time.
No, now we're closest friends on the planet. His kids, his wife are at my house all the time, and no, he's fantastic. Actually, I made another movie with him, Dear Prudence.
Oh wow!
I want to make another movie with him.
He's wonderful. Should, because it's scorching. It is scorching.
Thank you.
Really, the chemistry's off the chain. Did the Breaking Bad cast reach out to you? I know you're friends with Aaron Paul, but have you heard any of them say, "What, guys? Tweet at Jane"?
I don't think any of them have heard about it. I mean, they must have.
They must have. Maybe they feel a little upstaged because you guys did such a good job.
I don't know. I mean, they're really good guys, And Aaron's wife, we honoured her for our Open Heart Foundation event, and they had this thing, Be Kind campaign about bullying. So they're amazing.
Yeah, and speaking of an Open Heart campaign, hugely successful with your foundation, your jewelry line. You've gone through a lot in your life. How do you keep an open heart, especially for the holiday season, which can be very tough for people?
Well, I think I'm a perfect example. I separated, my husband and I separated 2 years ago, and we chose to all have Thanksgiving together, and I've invited him to join us for Christmas.
Wow, that's like a conscious uncoupling kind of?
No, I don't use those words. It's you know what, family is family, and when you're parents, you are always going to be a couple.
Right.
whether you like it or not. And James and I get along really well, and we make movies together, we do lots of things together, so the only thing we're not doing right now is living together.
Right. I've also noticed when watching the parody that you haven't changed, and you also just graced the cover of Closer this year in a bikini. How empowered did you feel? Was it, I mean, you're so comfortable with your body.
I'm not really. I'm not. I ordered longer legs and a bunch of stuff.
So did I. They just didn't come in the mail yet.
I didn't come in the mail. No, actually, they came. My daughter got the longer legs. Both my daughters and my grandchild all got really long legs.
Okay.
So
well, then you wish it just came a little later.
Yeah. But it's amazing what you can do in a bikini if you work out a little bit and wear high heels. That was the trick.
Would you do it again?
I don't really think we need to, do we?
I think you should. If you've got it, flaunt it.
I think we made the message was given, and right now I think I've got a little extra holiday thing going on. The other thing is that really when you get a little bit older, if you don't do wrestle and a Botox and all that, which I don't do any fillers. So if you want to fill your face, you've got to fill other parts of your body.
I agree with that. And plus a little junk
just
in the
trunk.
It's okay. It's okay. And also in terms of your roles, you've played Bond girls and also, how shall I say this, hot mothers.
Hot mothers, yes.
What has been your favorite role so far?
Well, it's usually whatever the last one was, but I have to admit, Kitty Cat was fun.
Can you do that line?
Oh,
I love that
call
line.
Me cat. Call me cat. Call me Kitty Cat.
I love that one.
Anyway, that was a lot of fun because, it's, to me, it doesn't matter how big the role is. If it's really good material and you're working with really great people, as I was, Vince and Owen, and, they were amazing, and Isla and everyone, they were extraordinary. And that was really fun. Obviously, Dr. Quinn was very meaningful to me because the chemistry with Joe and the great writing, the great cast.
And how you broke so many barriers for women leading ladies, brought back family values.
Well, they guaranteed me it would never be a series. When I did when I did the pilot, they said, "Oh, don't worry, this will never be a series. Women in the lead, that never happens. Medical show, that never happens. Period piece definitely doesn't happen. Westerns especially not. And family values, forget about it." And so we broke all the barriers. And Saturday night, that was the dead night of television. So there we go.
You did it all. And also you're a part of the Glenn Campbell documentary. Yes. Can you explain a little bit about that?
So I'm the exec producer. I worked on it for the last 3 years with James Keach and Trevor Albert, who produced it. James directed it. And what we did is we heard from Julian Raymond, who is the producer of Glenn's last major album called Ghost on a Canvas, which is a great album. And he told us that Glenn had just been diagnosed with Alzheimer's and that he didn't know how long he'd be able to perform, but he was going to go on tour, even though he had Alzheimer's. And it probably could be a few weeks, and someone needed to chronicle this. And so the family came to us and said, would you do this? We trust you. After we did Walk the Line, we produced that too. And we thought at first, Alzheimer's, that's very downer.
Yeah.
Downer, it's tough. And then we met Glenn, and Glenn was just a howl a minute. I mean, he just is the funniest man ever. And so we decided to make this movie. We followed him, and of course he did 150 shows, and we made this for 2.5 years. And we took him to Congress, and he was talking like Donald Duck in the halls of Congress. And I mean,
but they love that.
And he'd be backstage, and he'd say, what am I doing, and be sitting there in his civvies, and his wife says, "So you're about to go on the Academy Awards. So what's that? Why?" And he didn't know, and then everyone would be going, "Is he going to make it?" And sometimes he did, and sometimes he didn't.
Yeah.
But what was incredible was that the people just loved him so much, and he's such an iconic, extraordinary performer. In the movie, it's called Glenn Campbell, I'll Be Me. We see him as a young man. We see, part of what happened in his life. Yeah. But we've realized that he was one of the all-time greatest recording artists. He was with the Wrecking Crew. He was the guitarist on the Beach Boys and Frank Sinatra and
thanks
all
to
this.
you, you've been able to chronicle his life for not only himself, and he can watch it and remember, but also for his family. And thank you for being here with us today.
Oh, thank you. I just, it's such an honor, and, I hope that everyone gets to open their hearts this Christmas to people who are, in need, and just see what you uniquely can do to help others.
Thank you, thank you. And to keep up with everything Jane, go to her official website at www.janeseymour.com. And for everything entertainment, go to fox411.com.